just going to start in a seated butterfly position. Just allow those knees to drop as far as they can, keeping the soles of the feet together. You can have a little flap of your knees here if you like. And then we're just going to go for a nice gentle side bend, feel into it, stretching that arm above the head. And the other side. And then if you'd like to come into dragonfly position, so the legs as wide as they can go, toes pointing towards the ceiling. And here if you'd like to sink forward a bit initially, rest those hands on the floor. Not particularly sort of aiming for anything here, again, just sort of allowing the weight of your body to pull you forward. And then from here, we're going to go for another side bend, see if you can reach towards your toes. Trying to keep that shoulder rolled back, reaching across there. A couple of breaths here. And then back into the middle. And then we'll reach towards the other side. And again, if you want to think about rotating that shoulder back, feel that side stretch. Reach towards the toes. And inhale and back to center. And then we're going to go into tabletop. And here we can have a bit of an interesting stretch here. If we put our weight through sort of our knees alternating, you can feel a bit of a stretch through the back of that hip socket. So imagine you're trying to press one knee into the floor and sort of almost stick your bum out one way, and then rock the weight over to the other side. Press that knee into the floor, you should feel that in that glute there, and just have a couple rocks here, feels quite nice. And then we're just going to do some cat-cows, again just moving with the breath, so hands underneath shoulders, knees under hips. On the inhale, we're going to look up, and we're going to allow our tailbone to come up, sinking our chest down. And on that exhale, rounding the back, shoulders down, look towards your knees, tuck that tailbone. Inhale up, and exhale, angry cat. And just move through a few breaths here. And next, we're going to have a little look at our wrists. So here, we're going to turn our back of our hands onto our mat. And we're just going to rock our weight side to side in those wrists. We've been doing a lot of body weight stuff, press ups, burpees and that. It's quite nice to stretch the wrists the other way if we can. And once you're happy with that, we're just going to press back into down dog. Sending those hips up towards the ceiling, armpits towards the floor. And you can walk the feet out here if you'd like to, shifting the weight, sort of straightening one leg at a time. Or you can just keep that soft bend in the knee, really send that bum up towards the ceiling. Doesn't matter if your heels don't touch the ground. Just enjoy that stretch for a little bit. And then we're gonna send that bum back towards our feet, sink down into child's pose. Really creep those fingers forward. Feel that stretch again through the side, through the arms, through your back. Couple of breaths here. And then we're going to push forward into Sphinx. So roll those shoulders back and down, hips touching the floor, and then just rest your body weight on your forearms there, getting a bit of a back bend. Again, a few breaths here. And then we're going to press up into a plank. We're going to send one leg forward through into a low lunge. You can drop that back knee. Hands ideally on the inside of your feet, so we're getting a really low lunge. You can even sort of press that knee out if you wish. Deep stretch through the hip. And then we're going to lean back towards this back leg and straighten that front leg. Get a bit of a hamstring stretch there as well. And then just bring those feet back together. Again into that plank. Send that other leg forward through into that low lunge, dropping that back knee. You can press that knee out if you like. Feel into this stretch. And then straighten that front leg. Again, feeling that hamstring stretch. We're just going to come up to standing. Sorry, I've cut my head off there in that video. We're going to take quite a wide leg stance here. And then if you fancy it, clasp the hands behind your back. And we're just going to forward fold here. So soft bend in the knee, fold forward, getting that stretch through the chest as well. And then just going as low as you can, and then if you'd like to, allow those arms to relax forward, getting a bit more, sort of a deeper stretch through the shoulders, front of the shoulders and the chest. If you don't fancy that, just allow hands to come wherever you like, floor, shins, ankles. Just feeling that forward fold. And inhale to stand up. And then we're just going to come back onto the floor. And if you didn't go for that chest stretch, just have a little feel into that now. Clasp the hands behind the back, squeeze up. Take a few breaths here. This is quite nice in my upper spine as well actually. I'm getting a few clicks through my thoracic doing this. And then we're just going to go for a big hug. Really reach those arms around, allow those shoulder blades to spread. And if you are sort of on your own, you can imagine that you're getting a hug off your best friend. Apparently we can trick our brains into thinking that we're just having a hug. So, you know, a bit of feel-good hormones for you as well. A few deep breaths there. And then we're going to go nice and wide again, and then you're going to take whichever hand was under, you're going to take it over. So make sure you swap hands here. Another hug. And relax there, and we're just going to finish off with a twist, a lying twist. So if you lie on your backs, keep the soles of your feet on the floor, knees pointing towards the ceiling, hands out to a T. And then you're just going to drop your knees down to one side. Trying to keep those shoulders square on the floor. Just getting a bit of a twist through the spine. And if you'd like to, you can look away from the direction that your knees have dropped. Again, nice deep breaths. Breathe into the side of the chest that's open. And if you'd like to, you can even play around with where your arms go, as to get sort of a bit more of a side stretch. And then bring those knees back to center, tuck them in, have a little bit of a roll, a bit of a back massage. If you just rock the knees, roll up and down the spine, a bit of self-massage. And then bring those soles of the feet to the floor and drop down to the other side. And again, if you want to turn your head